Hi, friends. Today we will be talking about a topic I love exploring, and that is major to minor key substitutions. So, when I arrange hymns for piano solo or for even accompanying, I like including a verse here or there that's in a minor key of that hymn. And to me, that adds a different atmosphere, a different feel for the hymn you're playing, especially if the lyrics go along with that more introspective feel that a minor key can give. So I have some students and I've challenged them to attempt to play hymns in a minor key, as if they were written in a minor key. And there are two ways you can do this that are easy to understand. The first one is play the hymn in its relative minor key. So that means if you're in the key of C major, for example, you can try playing whatever tune or hymn you're playing in the key of A minor, because A minor is the relative minor of C major. It's called the relative minor because it shares the same key signature as C major. You don't have to deal with any sharps or flats in the key of C major. Now, in A minor, you can leave it as a natural minor scale so that you only deal with white keys in this case. But minor keys and scales vary a lot more. You have the natural minor scale like I just played. You have the melodic minor scale, which has the 6th and the 7th of the scale raised when you're going up, and then when you go down, it's natural. And then you have the harmonic scale, which I would say is one of the most used scales, especially harmonically when you're playing in a minor key. The harmonic minor scale only has that 7th note of the scale raised. So if you play an A minor scale, the G will be sharp. So that gives you the note of the dominant of A, because A minor is the tonic, and if you go up to the 5th, it has to be a major key if you're playing a dominant 5th, and that's where the G sharp comes in. So if you were to be playing, let's do a little cadence on C major. And you want to do the same thing in A minor, that would be. It would sound a bit odd if you don't raise that 7th of the scale, which is G in this case. It can work, it adds a different color, but for some hymns, that harmonic minor scale can build more tension to pull you back to the tonic. So that's one way to substitute or to play a hymn that's in a major key, to play it in its relative minor scale. However, students have told me that they find it easier to play a hymn if it's in its parallel minor scale. What is the parallel minor scale? Well, let's say we're in the key of C. The parallel minor scale will be C minor. So basically, you leave C as the tonal center of what you're playing. So again, let's go with the cadence that we just did. The 1, 5, and 1. In C minor, we would do E flat. Now remember, it's always important to play the scale, to have all the notes of that key fresh in your mind. So C minor has 3 flats. This rule applies to every key you're playing in. So this might be easier for you to think about and remember. When playing in a parallel minor scale, you can just think of the 3rd degree of the scale and the 6th and the 7th degrees of the scale all being lowered, all being flats in this case. So the 3rd is E in C major. If we lower it, it'll be E flat. The 6th in C major would be A. We lower it, and it would be A flat. And the 7th in C major is B. Let's just lower it, and it'll be B flat. So now we play the C minor natural scale, and we have those 3 flats. Okay, let's go to a hymn where we can apply this. That's in a different key. Let's go to When I Survey the Wondrous Cross. So this hymn, across basically all the hymnals I've seen, is in F major. And let's say you want to challenge yourself or just to explore playing this in minor. Again, all my students actually that we've worked and I've challenged them with this, they said that playing the parallel minor key is much easier than the relative. I think that's the case because if you play in the relative minor key, you have to lower all the notes by a third degree. And if you play in the parallel minor key, all you have to do is change the key signature in your mind, but the notation will, for the most part, remain the same. So for example, F major, the parallel minor key of F major is F minor. Remember, we keep the same root, the tonal center remains unchanged. So that's F. If we play the F minor scale, remember that the third, the sixth, and the seventh degree of the scale will be lowered by a half step. So this is the F minor scale. Having that in mind, now let's try to play When I Survey the Wondrous Cross in F minor. And here, you might stop and say, why is he playing an E natural? I thought that F minor had an E flat. And that's correct, that's in a natural minor scale. But a lot of times we prefer to play the harmonic minor scale, which has a seventh raised. So let's do this. For the purpose of exploring with you, I will play the first part of this hymn in an F minor natural scale, and the second time I'll play in a harmonic minor scale, and you get to choose which one you enjoy more. Sounds nice. Let's try with the harmonic minor scale. It adds a little different tension and color. Both of them sound good. I like varying them up. So sometimes I will use chords that are part of the natural minor scale and other times of the harmonic or even the melodic minor scales. Let's go to one more example. This is hymn, The Love of God. So in this hymnal at least, this one I don't remember how it's written in other hymns. I would say it's also in D major. So we have two sharps in D major. You have D major, G major, back to F, and A major, and takes you back to D major. So let's try playing this in minor. Remember, you have to lower the third, the sixth, and the seventh degree of the scale if you want to play in the natural minor scale. So this would be... Oh, look at that. We only have one black key. It's the B flat. If you've explored playing different keys, the scales and arpeggios, which is always, by the way, a great technique for you to develop, play scales and arpeggios in every key. You can, for 1 week, play in 1 or 2 keys, and then for the next week, you can do that and so forth. And before you know it, you walk through every single key in the piano, in music, and you feel better and better. Now, it's tricky because some scales require certain fingering for you not to get stuck. So that's a different topic. But coming back to The Love of God, let me try this first part of the hymn, playing it in a natural minor scale. So we have D minor. Remember the B is flat. Back to D minor. And now we can do the A minor because we're playing the natural minor scale. Okay, now, by the way, since this repeats the same tune, let me now play the second time in a harmonic minor scale. So in the harmonic minor scale, that C will be sharp, like that. And there you go. You can try the same rule across many hymns. Most of them are in major. So please let me know what you think about this. If that works for you, what has been more helpful for you? Remember, there's a free PDF in the link in the description below that you can download, and hopefully that can be helpful as a general rule of how to substitute a major key into a minor key so that you can explore across all the hymns that you'd like, playing it in a minor. Now, it's not something you'd want to do on every hymn. There are hymns that are very just positive, joyful, uplifting, and throwing in a minor key in one of the verses might not be so relatable or make that much sense. But there are certainly a lot of hymns that the lyrics of those hymns can give it deeper meaning to the listener and to you, the player. Please subscribe to this channel if you found this content helpful. Like and share with others as you continue your journey in music. God bless.